Collaborate with the partners to innovate faster and maximize impact. Expertise that we don't have internally, and speed. Depending on the level of maturities of the business or the needs of the business, we have different activities. We've defined 7 typologies of activities. The first one, we call it explore. So the exploration phase is more a way to create awareness to the business and to communicate about the latest trends, the latest technologies or new business models that could impact Sodexo. The second is, we call it the definition of the business needs. So here the objective is not to communicate about new technologies, it's more to deep dive, focus on specific needs of the business. And for that, we can create some co-ideation phase or co-ideation workshops, making sure that what we will be focusing on are the top priority of the business. Third stage, we call it inspire and engage. So once we know that the business needs are well defined, then we want to invite key stakeholders within Sodexo and clients and communicate about the companies or these business needs. The fourth activity is called the sourcing phase. So this is well known, no need to detail, but the sourcing phase is leveraging local accelerators, for example, but we have other ways to source and map companies. There is, after this mapping, another phase called the selection. So where we will move from 30, 50 companies to 10 or less. And once we're okay and aligned on the top 10 or top 5 companies, we move to the testing phase, where we are launching a pilot before the last phase, which is the scaling and monitoring phase. Between the test and scale phase, we can on top invest in a company. And this is where we leverage Sodexo Ventures, and we can even in some cases acquire the company. Within Sodexo, we organized between two teams, one focusing on external innovation and one on internal innovation. On the external innovation, we can, let's say, split this team into 3 typologies of activities. One that we call Sodexo accelerators, in charge of animating, sourcing, and partnering with the local accelerators. A second one called Sodexo Ventures, analyzing investment opportunities, analyzing pilots that have been tested before investing in a company, and combining this investment with a partnership. And we have pure partnerships team, where the exact same team members in charge of Sodexo Ventures will also review, validate, analyze some partnerships, but no tied with any investment. On the internal innovation team, we called InnovHub, a software that enables us to collect all innovation from Sodexo's employees. Once we collected all these needs, we organize an InnovHub Challenge Day where we will do the final selection in order to make sure that we will try, test, and scale the most innovative ideas coming from Sodexo's employees. So I remember one report from Mind the Bridge and Alberto Onetti describing 3 ages. And I thought it was very relevant. The age of marketing, that's the first step where, let's say, the objective is really to communicate and to create awareness. The age of collaboration, where the objective is more to launch some pilots, to test and to do the first investment. And the age of results, where the objective is to prove let's say, the impact that the innovation team has. I think that at Sodexo, we are in between the age of collaboration and results. because we did some investment. We only have one exit so far, so we're not here yet in the pure age of results. And so the KPIs we're following are mostly the number of POCs, number of investments, number of partnerships, and especially the P&L impact of these partnerships on the traditional business. Another KPI that is not that tangible, but to me very important, is when I compare the state of Sodexo 4 or 5 years ago when the digital team was created and today, I'm realizing that many topics that we communicated about 4 or 5 years ago are now fully embedded into the roadmap of most of the business lines at Sodexo. So it means that this is a success in terms of integration of innovation into classical or traditional business units within the company. I think there are 3 main barriers. The first one is a human barrier. The second one is more around time horizon. And the third one is around processes. So yeah, as I said, the first one is really not technical, it's purely human. We realize that very often on paper, I would say even on Excel, the partnership makes a lot of sense and the potential impact or synergies is huge. And that's why it's so important to pilot first before any investment, is because we're realizing that the collaboration or the fit between people may not be as good and may impact negatively the business impact of such collaborations. So first one is clearly human, making sure that corporate people are working well with startup people. And sometimes they're not even talking the same language. So this is not that easy. Second is around time horizon. So it's well known that what is short-term for a corporate player may be long-term for a startup. That being said, I see huge rationale for combining investment and partnerships, because in these cases, we have to leverage the time of investment, which is very short. So we're talking about number of weeks, or number of months maximum, to finalize all the discussions around the partnership too. The day of the closing, we will sign all the investment papers, SHA, SPA, plus this partnership agreement. And in this partnership agreement, we will finalize all the level of ambition related to speed of deployment, related to value sharing mechanism, and all these negotiations that can take ages within the corporate environment are limited due to the investment time. Then the third one around processes. Of course, we're not perfect at Sodexo and we still have room for improvement. I hear sometimes startups asking for specific payment terms or specific procurement processes. And we still have to work on this, because we will still have some feedbacks around this. So this will be a priority for 21 onwards. So the first one, I'm at Sodexo, so it's naturally food tech and around food delivery. The crisis showed that this sector was booming and was meeting a lot of new consumer behaviors and was already growing fast. We knew that in some cities like New York or Hong Kong, some apartments are rent without kitchen. So it shows how important this trend is. And you can imagine that if in the B2C environment there is no kitchen anymore, this may happen in the B2B world as well. So this is the first one. The second one is related to the first one because it's the contractor model. So meaning the Uber-like model. So it's more around HR. It's more around the way we are interacting and working with our employees. We're realizing we are working with many Uber-like companies within Sodexo, and the contractors are contractors because they want to, and they don't want to be traditional employees. So we need to understand their needs, because this is not shaky, this is not precarious, this is a real willingness from these people. Then we have some, let's say, data topics, very important for Sodexo, because we're closely working with the data lab and knowing better the prediction of the people on site, how many people will come on site, what people will eat on site, has lots of impact in terms of pricing, in terms of procurement, and in terms of food waste. And this is only one example. There are many more around the computer vision, around the workplace optimization, etc. Then we have IoT companies with the 5G coming this month or in the coming weeks. We think that this will be a huge booster for most of the IoT companies, and this could help us better monitor the usage of the space, for example. And then to conclude, there is a very transversal topic, which is around impact. And we see more and more VCs being created with an investment thesis focused around impact. Our latest investment in Isaid show how important it is for us to combine the investment with the financial rationale, with the business rationale linked to the partnership agreement, but also with values of Sodexo and values around social impact, for example. As the first French employer worldwide, this is our duty to take these criteria into consideration. I really would like to thank Mind the Bridge and ICC. We are missing this event this year a lot. This is for us a perfect occasion to benchmark or compare our approach with corporate market practices, to meet relevant startups, and to be aware of latest trends. So see you next year.